he has that initial appearance as somebody that could be easily a threatening being to be around. But right away, they use that kind of gentle giant thing where, they start to play this nice little game of questions. He's got this very nice and very light voice about him when he's talking to her. And really when he's talking to all of them throughout the entire time. Even when they start fighting back, he's still more like, look, can we just get this under control? I don't want to do anything. I want to help you people, like that kind of thing. And I love the way that they use his size and the way that he went about performing this. There is. Oh,
yeah. I read briefly because I didn't want to read anyone's reviews until I kind of watched it and had written some of my own stuff. So I finished my review before we finished recording, and I finally went and was like, okay, I'm going to go check out what some other people said. And Bilge Abiri wrote a review, I think it was, I can't remember, it was Vulture or the New Yorker, but he wrote one where I thought was really apt, where he said that the opening with Dave Bautista handing the flower to the girl is almost like the shot from the original Frankenstein, where Frankenstein goes and talks to the little girl.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Like, yeah, that's so it's a cool little moment. And also that Shyamalan, he apparently casted Dave Bautista because he had seen, obviously, like the rest of us, Blade Runner 2049, and went, that guy was just, what a amazing impression of that character kind of sticks with you for the 5 minutes that he's on screen, and just how big he is and how soft spoken he is at the same time, and the little tiny glasses that he got. It's very adorable. Yes. And I think I read an interview with Shyamalan where he said that he didn't know about his pro wrestling career when he originally thought about him, and he went up to him. Wow. and apparently Dave Bautista was really hesitant about taking on this kind of character. And Shyamalan basically said that when he went and sat with him, he found as he puts it, a human being who was ready to start over, to take away all the success that he had, unlearn it and start over, and basically do something else and do a different kind of performance and be really proud of himself as an actor. And
an apocalypse.
Yeah. And when Shyamalan, I think he said, his words were, "I'm down, brother. Let's do it right away from the beginning. Let's get you doing this." And Dave Bautista apparently said that, "I don't know if I can do this." And Shyamalan said, "But I do. I know that you can do this." And I never wavered for a second. And he was fucking right, dude.
Oh, totally right.
Just
killed it.
That slow zoom, he has two incredible slow zooms on him, which are just pure acting. Batista is the reason that you're entranced and the thing the camera is gravitating towards. And there's two of them. One, when Batista recites the news footage, which is designed to be the big reveal that actually he is reciting live news footage while it's airing, meaning that he actually did see it in a vision, and it basically is confirming that all of this apocalyptic stuff is actually happening. And we'll get into a little bit more detail about that, but that moment when Batista gets the slow zoom where he's reciting the news footage, amazing.
Incredible.
The other one is that build up to him sitting there and being there's still time for, because he essentially reveals that by killing themselves, they are slowly delaying the apocalypse, and they're giving them more time to make their decision. Yeah. And they're offering them more time by doing that. And Dave Bautista is the last one.
I do like that there's still, sorry to interrupt you, but I do like that there's also still sacrifice in that, because it's instead of the millions or billions that would die, there are still hundreds of thousands that are being taken out every single time they do this, because there's a plague that's unleashed every time they do it. So it's not necessarily it's a good thing in this overall, I guess, perspective of what's going on, but there's never a moment where there isn't sacrifice and something to consider in that sense. So I do like that detail as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that bit where he gets to do the big tearful monologue he does, where that he's doing all of this because he's a teacher, and that's why he's so good at communicating with the kids and why he's so soft spoken. And he basically monologues about you have to be really careful with what you say to kids, because they will believe it. You have to really only tell them exactly what you know to be true. And it just really hammers home that Dave Bautista wouldn't be a type of person who would be doing what he's doing unless he had full conviction in it. And then he slices his throat right in front of them. And you actually do get that full shot of his torso with the blood leaking out of it and everything. And just the way they use his physicality in the framing. Sometimes you'll just get a shot of his hulking chest, and that's the only thing you see while he brings up that photo of his students when he's telling them, look. And I love that his line is see, these students, they fucking suck at sports. And I want them to continue living and sucking at sports and having the best time of their lives because I fucking love these kids. And like, that's why I'm here doing this, that I want them to live a little bit longer. I want them to have some kind of future. And just even though there's one shot where he's looking over at Andrew, and I think the camera moves over from Andrew to Eric, like to the other one, to Jonathan Groff's character, and it literally tracks behind his head, where his head is so big that it like takes up half the frame. Totally. which is great because it makes him a threatening, imposing physical presence, as like he is scary. He could physically dominate you, but he doesn't want to be doing, like, he's heartbroken, as he says it. That's what he has to be doing.
And he does it so minimally. Like, I was almost expecting more of a physical performance, just in the sense that he would have to get to that point, Batista. But there's only like 1 or 2 moments where he really does have to like take them down. And even when he does like one move, incapacitates them, and then is like, can we just talk? Like, there's never a moment where he's really using that physicality to his advantage. And it's a great choice because it's there and you see it throughout the whole film. How can you not? But he never uses it. And it's well, a really good choice. And it's also coded because of his look, that they're just like, look, like we have been attacked because we are gay before. Yeah. So like, totally. Like they kind of expect it. They were like, dude, you kind of look like a giant bigot who would beat the shit out of us at a bar. Right. Like, I'm sorry, and that's just what you look right like now. You know? So, yeah. Yeah, totally. So like that threatening is just kind of always in the back of your mind and in the back of sort of like the visual grammar of the way that he's, you know, kind of